another episode of the When Life Happens podcast. I'm your host, William Jackson, and once again, so excited because we have another opportunity to live, learn, and grow together. And today we are diving deeper in our core series. We started talking last episode about who you are at your core, because who you are at your core will determine your capability. I think a lot of times what we try to do as people is we try to address our behaviors. And while we may be successful in behavior modification, if we don't address who we are at our core, we will not be able to sustain the changes that we have implemented in our lives. So last week we talked about conflict. Who are you in conflict? Because as sure as we're living, conflict is always going to rise. There's always going to be a moment where something doesn't go the way that you planned. And if you can't master conflict, you will always be putting what you are building at jeopardy, because conflict is one of those things that will rise whenever you are stepping into something new, whenever you are building something of value, whenever you are trying to accomplish anything great. Conflict is the barometer that will dictate if you are ready for what you are working for. Who are you in? How do you handle the things that don't go your way? How do you handle conflict in relationships? How do you handle conflict financially? How do you handle conflict economically, socially? Whatever the conflict happens in your life, how do you deal with it? Because how you deal with it at the core of your being, because you can only operate in conflict to the core of who you are. See, when you're put in tough spaces, that's when the real you comes out. When you're put in spaces where you now have to adjust according to the things that are happening in a negative fashion, anybody can put on their representative or put on a front when things are going well. You probably know some of those people, the people who are able to finagle situations as long as it's going their way. You really find out what you need to know about someone when you're placed in opportunities of conflict. And I say opportunities because conflict is something that will grow you. You learn more about yourself. You step into places of maturation when you are successfully matriculating through conflict. If you can handle it effectively, success, I'm telling you, is yours. So you got to go back and listen to last week if you want to be aware and take away practical tools of how to step in and effectively manage conflict. Today, we are diving into the O of our core series. Who are you at your core? We talked about who are you in times of conflict, and now we're going to talk about who you are when opportunity strikes. You can really tell a lot about someone when opportunity is presented. Just stop and think for a second. The things that you're working on building, things that you're praying for, the things that you desire to see in your life, what most people tend to think is that all I need is the right opportunity, and everything that I've been working for, praying for, hoping for, I will be able to step into and be effective in it. My dreams just need the right opportunity. I just need the right opportunity with the right person, with the right conversation, with the right mindset. All I need is that one opportunity and my life can change forever, which is actually true. So much can happen in an opportunity. I heard a wise man once say that the opportunity of a lifetime is only present within the lifetime of the opportunity. What does that mean? Is that God gives us windows of opportunity, not warehouses. We have to be able to maximize the opportunity that's presented, because certain opportunities that'll change your life only have a short time frame. And if you are not ready for when opportunity strikes, then the opportunity of a lifetime could pass you by. And fear is temporary, but regret, well, that can be permanent. So I'm going to give you some scenarios and some tools to think about who you are when opportunity strikes. Because one opportunity can change your life. And much like that one opportunity, it can also set your progress back. There may be some things that you're thinking about right now that says, man, if I just maximized that opportunity, I would have probably been in a different place. But the beautiful part about everything in life is that God doesn't waste anything. He uses everything so that way, whenever you are stepping into the places that you were created for, you are learning and growing through every missed opportunity, every failed opportunity, so that you can have the strength and the resilience and the wisdom and the tenacity to maintain and sustain your opportunity of a lifetime. So I want to talk about 3 areas of opportunity that if you are going to step into success, you need to ask yourself who you are in these opportunities. Because at the core of who you are, this will tell you where you are. This will tell you what you're carrying, what your perspective is, and who you will be in moments of success. Because you learn a lot about someone when they have nothing, when they have everything, and when they're under any influence, whether it's influence of peer pressure, whether it's influence of their environment. You learn a lot about someone when they have opportunities. So let's talk about it. Let's dive in. So the first thing that we're going to address is who you are and who you will become when you get the opportunity to get ahead. What will you do? Have you ever really considered what you will do when you have the opportunity to step into the career of your dreams, the relationship of your dreams, the opportunity of your dreams? What will you do when you have the opportunity to get ahead? Because what a lot of people do is we hope for success, but we don't plan for it. We hope for an effective relationship, but we don't plan for it. We just want the opportunity to get ahead, but we don't have a plan to sustain what we've been praying for. So what will you do? What will you do when you get the opportunity to get ahead? Here's a question. How much are you willing to pay for success? When we're thinking about opportunities, how much are you willing to pay for success? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you desire? Because what most people don't understand or really have a proper perspective of is that success and opportunity requires sacrifice. It requires you willing to give up something to get something. The exchange that happens between where you are and where you desire to be is a pivotal one, because what most people try to do is we try to take everything in our now into our next. And can I give you some hard truth? Everything and everyone can't go. Everything can't go with you from now into next. Because there are certain things, there are certain people, there are certain environments that are designed to sustain you in this present season. The ecosystem of your present doesn't have the makeup to sustain you in your future. So you got to be under a space where you're able to see and identify, what am I willing to give up for an opportunity to get ahead? Because if you think that you're going to hold on to everything, you will keep frustrating yourself, frustrating your dreams, frustrating your goals. You will keep frustrating yourself because you're trying to take everything with you. So the first thing you got to identify, and if you are ready for an opportunity to get ahead, is what am I willing to let go of? You need to do an assessment of where you are. What is serving you currently that is not suitable to serve you in your next? What are some things? And if you're honest, if you really weigh where you want to be and who you want to become against who you are now and where you are, you will be able to identify distinct differences in the environment. You will be able to identify distinct differences in the environment if you are honest. And when you identify those differences, you got to be willing to say, okay, now that I see those, which one of these behaviors, which one of these relationships, which one of these mindsets do I have to shed off here? Because if I am not willing to sacrifice for this opportunity, then what I'm saying is my comfort in my now is more valuable to me than the discomfort in my next. Because all growth requires some shedding, some pain, some breaking away. Just ask the butterfly. We all marvel at how beautiful the butterfly is, how amazing it looks, how graceful, the different shades, the different colors, but nobody actually stops to consider the pain that this butterfly had to go through to transform in a cocoon, a tight place, to break out of these tight spaces so that this butterfly can live and operate at its highest potential. What are the cocoons that are holding you back? Who are you when you are placed in opportunities to get ahead? Who are you willing to sacrifice? Because here's the thing too, is that you have to look at it first as to what can't go with you. But then you also have to look at your opportunities and who you are at your core as what values are your non-negotiable values that you are unwilling to compromise. Because if you don't have a list of non-negotiable values, what does that mean? There are certain core principles that I will not breach. There are certain things that I will not go against. There are certain things that I will not do because of my core foundational beliefs. If you don't have a list of non-negotiable beliefs, guess what? You will be swayed by any and every opportunity. You'll step on whoever you need to step on. You'll trample whoever you need to trample. You'll disregard or disrespect or use someone. If you don't have core foundational non-negotiable values, these are principles that I will not break. I will not go against my value of integrity. I will not go against my value of faithfulness. I will not go against. If you aren't in a space where you are identifying the things you are unwilling to compromise, then every opportunity to get ahead will put you in a situation that is compromising. Because every opportunity to get ahead comes with a few things. It comes with a built-in barometer of where you are in your value system. It's going to test it. Every opportunity comes with a built-in perspective of understanding of what you are willing to do and let go of. It comes with a corrective lens check. It's almost like going to an eye doctor when they do a vision test. When they go in and they check your vision, they say, what can you read? Can you read this line? Can you see this? Now, when I change this, does your vision get better? So every opportunity comes in with a value systems test, with a vision test, and then it also tests who you are in the aspect of what you really desire. Because if you are not sold on what you want and what you are supposed to have in life, then your ability to stand firm on your dreams and your goals is going to be kind of shaky. This is how people get in situations and now they're chasing someone else's dream. Why? Because they were presented with an opportunity. Oh, this is an opportunity to make more money. Yeah, but that doesn't align with the mission and the vision for your life. So when every opportunity is presented, you got to be willing to see, okay, where am I now? I got to weigh it against where I am now, and then have an accurate perspective or depiction of what requires or what is required of me in my next. I got to make sure that my value system is intact. I got to make sure that I'm checking my vision to be able to see with a clear perspective so I'm not swayed. Then I got to know who I am. Who am I in this place and season and what I desire, so I'm not swayed by an opportunity to do what you were created to do. Because that's when stress comes in. That's when frustration comes in. When I am in a place where I am trying to do something that I was not created to do simply because I was presented with an opportunity. So many people are living lives beneath their calling and their purpose. So many dreams are going unfulfilled. So many things are just dying on the inside of us because we are jumping at opportunities that were not crafted for us. So you got to understand and know who you are when you're presented with an opportunity to get ahead. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to pay? What are you willing to give up? What are your non-negotiables and your negotiables? You need a list. You should get a piece of paper out and write down your core non-negotiables and your negotiables. What are some things that are important to you, but you're willing to bend on, that you can compromise a little bit on? And what are the things that you absolutely will not compromise on? Because if you don't have that list, then the opportunity presented to you will begin to try to test every single place in the foundation that's not solid. And this is how we get people who start chasing fame and fortune, and they forget about family, they forget about faith, they forget about their core foundational beliefs. Why? Because they weren't solid in them. They wanted the opportunity more than their purpose and their destiny. So we got to know who we are in every opportunity to get ahead. Here's the next question. Here's a tough one. Are you when you are presented with an opportunity to get even? Uh-oh. See, now when we start talking about the aspects of our heart, and we start really looking at the depths of our soul, and we really start identifying the aspects of who we are at our core, you got to ask yourself, if I was presented with an opportunity today to get even with the people that hurt me, what would I do? What would I do? You got to know these things, because if you don't address these now before you get into an opportunity to succeed, to get in an opportunity to have success and to get ahead, once power and fame and fortune comes, you will risk everything, because now with this opportunity comes another opportunity to get even. Now you have leverage. Now you have platform. Now you have power. And you gotta know who you are, because healing is the prerequisite for the longevity of your success. What does that mean? Is that you have to heal now, so that when you step into your opportunity, you don't risk it trying to repay someone who maybe didn't have the capability or the understanding or the perspective or the strength to be able to handle you with care and the proper way that you desired and deserve to be handled. You will risk your future trying to repay your past. Because if you are not healed when you get there, you can rest assured that whatever was unresolved is going to rear its head when you step into a place of opportunity. Whatever is unresolved will rise again when you step into a place of opportunity. So you got to know, where am I in my healing journey? Because healing is the prerequisite. That's the entry code for me sustaining success. because the goal is not to get into a place of success, but the goal is to sustain success, to get there and stay there. And the one way that I'm going to stay there is if I heal here. The main way that I'm going to stay there is if I heal here. Because if you don't heal, then your motivation for success will be off. This is how people are motivated by their haters, or I'm going to show you wrong, or I'm going to prove you wrong, or I'm going to show you that you should have never talked about me in third grade, and I'm going to show you should have never broke up. When you haven't healed, your motivation is off. And your motivation will determine your mindset. Your motivation will determine how you think about what you're doing. And then your mindset will dictate your magnitude. So your motivation, whatever you are driven by, will determine your mindset, which is how you think about what you're doing and how you think about where you're headed and how you think when you get into where you're headed, which will determine or dictate your magnitude, how effective you can be in this place, how much you can create, how much success you can accrue. If your motivation is your haters, then your mindset will be hatred. And then your magnitude will be limited to the level of who you have been hating. What does that mean? If I'm motivated by someone who hurt me, my mindset will be rooted in that hurt and that hatred. And then my magnitude, or how effective I can be in my opportunity, will be limited because it's tied to the person who hurt me and not to the version of me that is healed, who can thrive and be completely focused on this opportunity. So many people have risked opportunities of a lifetime because they were unable to be completely present. You cannot be fully present in an opportunity until you heal. Because by default, you are coming into this opportunity fragmented. So you got to be willing to heal here so that you can stay there, because your motivation will determine your mindset, which will dictate your magnitude. And then here it is. What will you do when you are at the place where you are presented with an opportunity to give back? Can I tell you that success is not singular, that it is not a selfish place to get there and stay there and to be focused on just you, yourself, and everything that concerns you? That success is an opportunity for you to now reach back and create a pathway so that someone doesn't have to go through the same things that you went through. We have so many people in the world who are selfish and successful. And when you are selfishly successful, then you will hoard your success. And then the blessing that you got and received, you will then risk, because you have to work double and overtime to sustain something that you're trying to protect from everyone else. If you just are willing to open up and say, I got here and I had to endure certain things and I had to take certain losses, but now this is an opportunity for me to help the previous version of me. The same things that you wish that you had. When you get your opportunity, this is where you'll see who you are at your core. Because if you haven't learned what it takes to be successful, if you haven't learned the essence of helping someone else, if you haven't learned that when you get into a blessing or a place where you are experiencing success, that it is an opportunity to not just receive a blessing, but to be a blessing. then that selfish nature will begin to eat at your heart posture. And that heart posture will then open up an access point for greed to slip in. And greedy people may be successful, but greedy people will not be successful long, because success is sustained in community. When you think about the people who are the most successful, what they realize is, I have to be successful enough to have someone else that I can help, that I am only successful to the level or to the degree of my team, that I am only as strong as my weakest link. When you think about a chain, right? Like one of those thick chains that, maybe they put on dogs who are really, really big, like mastiff breeds, those thick chains that they use to sort of keep them from running rampant or running around or getting out of the yard. When you think about that chain, right? Imagine if it was just one link. Imagine if it was just one link trying to hold this massive animal to this post. How effective do you think it would be? The strength of a chain is in its many links, because when pressure is applied, the links begin to distribute the pressure evenly, so one link is not overworked. And we keep trying to get, or people keep trying to get to a place of success with a singular link, not knowing that I am not equipped to handle all of this pressure alone. And if I am in a place where I can succeed and I can thrive, I got to be in a space of knowing that I have to be willing to distribute this pressure, even people and the community that is designed to help me succeed. Can I be honest with you? You can't do it alone. You can't do it by yourself. And everyone who tries will ultimately risk everything that they are trying to build, because they are so focused on trying to get there just for themselves. Who are you in moments of opportunity? Who are you when you have an opportunity to get ahead? Who are you when you have an opportunity to get even? And who are you when you have an opportunity to give back? Because this shows your character. This shows who you are at the core. If you don't have a heart to help someone else, if you don't have a heart to give back, then maybe you may have been jaded by your life's experiences that may have made you selfish. Effective leadership is knowing that we win because of us, but we lose because of me. And when I have an opportunity to get ahead, I gotta be willing and to make, am I willing to give up? What am I willing to sacrifice? Who am I now in comparison to who I need to be in my next? When I'm presented with an opportunity to get even or to get back at someone, have I healed? Am I willing to risk everything that I've worked so hard for to get back at somebody? And am I willing to have a heart posture to give back to someone who is going through some of the same things that I experienced? Your experiences are designed to put you in a place so that you can limit the same pain, the same stress, the same frustration for someone else. Who are you in times of opportunity? When opportunity strikes, what will you do? What will you give up? What will you sacrifice? What will you risk? And who will you help? Because if you are not in a place where you're addressing these things, then you are putting everything at risk within the lifetime of this opportunity. And the opportunity is designed to take you to another opportunity and to another opportunity so that you can sustain the success that you've been working hard and praying for so long. Well, listen, I hope you got something out of this episode. I'm so excited to let each and every one of you know that I have courses and programs that are now available. I've opened up the doors for our next cohort for the Fulfillment Formula, which is a 6-week to 12-week program that is designed to help you step into fulfillment in every area of your life. For all of my husbands, or if you're married to a husband, the program, The Honorable Husband, the next cohort is now open and it begins in June. It's a 6-week program to help you heal, to help you lead, to help you love, and to help you labor with honor from a kingdom perspective. So those doors are open now. Go to my website at www.theofficialwilliamjackson.com for more details, more resources, and for opportunities for us to connect. What I need you to always remember is that no matter what you face, you have everything inside you need to overcome and succeed when life happens.